Atlanta and Conscious Global family. Aja here of Conscious Living in Omni Media Group and iJourneyTV. We are here at 7 Nanda Natural Foods Cooperative in Little Five Points, and I'm joined by Jasmine Simone for this edition of ChatNChew on iJourney. How you doing, Jasmine?
I am great. How are you?
I am.
I'm doing even more amazing because I'm sitting here with Jason Orr. Excuse me, I did that incorrectly. The Jason Orr. And for those of you who don't know, he is music producer extraordinaire, documentarian,
Cultural analyst, and festival producer.
The list goes on.
Welcome to ChatNChew.
Thank you, ladies. Glad to be here.
So, how and when did you first become vegan?
I first became vegan in the early 90s, probably like 91.
And what was the impetus for that?
I wanted more energy, more brain capacity. I had already had a 9-to-5 job as a tax collector for the city of Atlanta. And I wanted to pursue other things that my spirit was leading me to in music and the arts.
So how did you learn that being vegan would allow you more brain capacity and such? Where did
You
that
know,
education
one book that I always say that if my house is burning down, that book is coming with me is Dr. Africa's African Holistic Health.
Okay.
Favorite book.
Hallelujah.
Favorite book.
There's the origin.
Yes.
And that book, if you know the type of verbiage and grammar and ridicule that Dr. Africa uses, you know, it's pretty, it spoke to me. So this was in the days when people would read books.
Right.
This was the fun days.
Right.
And, you know, just the things in there I would practice. And along with that, just other aspects of living a holistic lifestyle, you know, yoga, breathing.
How does that living a holistic lifestyle fit into being in the music scene, producing, doing shows, touring? How does that kind of fit into that?
A clear mind.
Okay.
I mean, you know, when you're producing anything, I was just telling somebody a minute ago, if festival production was easy, we'd see more of it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I challenge people, and especially with African Americans, we love music. We want to put our little cousins on and our friends on and all of that. And, well, produce a festival.
Right.
But it's hard. It's hard work.
It's
you
hard
know what I
work.
mean?
And you've been doing it for a long time.
23 years.
Funk Jazz Cafe is the longest running.
Yeah, arts and
African
music
American
festival
festival.
in
Yeah.
the country.
That's amazing. Yeah.
If not the world.
Yeah.
And the only one that don't announce talent.
Right.
And still get a few thousand people.
Right. People show up
People
not
show up.
knowing who you have on the bill.
Right. I mean, you know, that's why most things are music and arts festival. Mine is arts and music festival. You know, in the sense that, you know, we try to highlight those artistic disciplines that mean more to our well-being.
Right.
You know, whether you all have been there, there's a healing suite, you know what I mean?
Yep.
There is a bazaar with vegan food
Yes.
and, you know,
Poetry
room, independent and drum room, independent film, body paint, yeah, all of those things that make us magnificent people.
Yeah.
And demonstrates our brilliance, you
Wow.
know, and black excellence. That's what I like to
20
do.
years ago, I was migrating to Atlanta, so I was not familiar with Funk Jazz Cafe. How did it start, you know, and did it start with all of those pieces, or did it start with just, you know, a core?
Almost all of those pieces. I was managing a band here that included, led by a guy named Vinnie Bernard. But then we had Maynard Jackson III as a drummer, and then we replaced him with Lil John Roberts, the drummer for Janet and Stevie Wonder and all of that. But as young guys, you can imagine, we were like 23, 24. And Atlanta's live music scene was existing, but not totally thriving. It was coming off the back of SOS Band, Brick, Cameo. You know what I mean? So we were the young ones who had to prove, like, if y'all gonna keep it going, you know, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we, you know, I through reading African Holistic Health and trying to convert my knucklehead friends, Because if we're going to be together, you got to eat like this, you got to live like this. Well, that's the thinking when you're young.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Convert everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Save the world.
save the world through health, great health and wellness. But, you know, the effort was, okay, I'm not going to, you know, force you to do it. I'm going to present things to make you say, I'll try that.
Yeah.
Expose you to it.
Yeah.
Expose you to
And
it.
speaking of exposure, you've exposed a lot of people to different genres of music, to different styles of just being creative, right? And so how do you now, 23 years later, you have the documentary out, you take that creative energy and you turn it into a documentary, Diary of a Decade.
Yeah.
You're traveling around, right?
Yes.
Showing this documentary. The next showing is?
I think Florida State University, FSU.
Okay.
FSU or the Cleveland Film Festival.
Okay. And how do you stay healthy on the go? Like you're traveling, how do you do that?
Well, we're in the lovely co-op of Seven Nanda. I am a frequent buyer of nuts and things for the road.
Here we are again, my darling. It's time for us to prepare the magic.
That we're about to eat some delicious
Yes.
chocolate cake.
Gluten-free and vegan.
Right.
Lovely. That sounds great.
We've gotten at Seven Nanda today.
So we're gonna do some. This is Chat and Chew.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna chat. We chatted.
Oh, okay. And we chew. Shit, I mean, shoot, I start.
So you have so much, like so many things you've done. When you were just talking about how you got started and your group and everything, you really need a documentary called Diary of Jason Orr. That's what you need to do.
That would be great. I think it'll happen one day. You know, the things that I'm doing, I hate to even think like this, but after 2 decades or more of pursuing, yeah, that's good. I'll take another bite. Of pursuing, you know, excellence in festivals and in music and visual art and film and stuff like that. I don't think people catch up on it when you're in the current now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Take Diary of a Decade, for
Right.
example. That's an award-winning documentary film. I've been screening it since 2011.
Right.
I mean, what film has the power and the endurance to go, you know, years beyond its life? You know what I mean? But it's because it's dealing with such subject matter as us as a people and how we got to where we are now artistically and culturally, as opposed to just Funk Jazz Cafe Arts and Music Festival and the phenomenon that is. I took the point of view from what's phenomenal about Funk Jazz Cafe. Well, one was that I'm able to go all of these years without announcing talent. And at that point it was 10 years, you know. And why is that? Well, that's a result of the condition of the music business at the time. So now the movie starts with a statement. You'll always know the condition of a people by what's reflected in their music.
Right.
Now we got a movie.
Nice.
And so I could take that to universities and art centers around the world and have the critical dialogue as to how we got to where we are now and how do we make these changes? How do we evolve from where we are? Our thing about Funk Jazz Cafe, our tagline is cultural sustainability, cultural preservation, cultural education, and cultural innovation. We want to preserve our rich cultural legacies. We want to sustain what we already have. We want to educate others about it, and we want to innovate upon it. You know, so that's the thing about Funk Jazz Cafe.
So it's definitely more of a timeless piece. It's a
Yeah,
timeless
yeah.
piece.
So people will get it later.
Right, exactly. And then they can use it.
If you don't get it now, you get it later.
They can use it even
I love
in
it.
the evolution, you know, how
Yeah,
we're moving forward,
for
staying in touch with our culture and as it moves. So what are some new projects that are in the pipeline, and you know, how far down the line are you kind of the vision for those?
I am working on a record, another record under, well, I've done records under different monikers. One is Soul of Earth with Craig Love, who's done a lot of stuff here. with the Dungeon family and the LaFace family, Tony Braxton, Lil Jon, all those guys, Usher.
Nice.
Gold plaques all over his wall. But he and I do another brand of dance music, global soul, stuff that works in South Africa and Australia and Canada, stuff like that. We've sold almost 6,000 downloads without even promoting it. But that work is with Karen Wheeler, and from Soul to Soul, it's Omar from London, Carl McIntosh from Loose Ends, India Davenport from Brand New Heavies, CC Sunchild, just a Lady Alma, just a bunch of different people. But I'm gonna do another one under the Empress of the Yamasee calls me Red Deer. So I'm gonna do one under Red Deer.
Okay. So when is this coming out? Can we expect?
I don't know.
Can we wait for it? Can we get the date?
I don't know.
First on ChatNChew.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have. I don't make deadlines, and I learned that from films, documentary films. You may want to do something by a certain time for film festival entry,
Right.
but sometimes it's not ready.
Yeah.
So in the film space, I'm working on. You guys, before the year is out, will see a fantastic documentary on Maynard Jackson, first Black mayor of Atlanta. You know, President Clinton is in it, President Carter is in it, all the living civil rights leaders from post-civil rights leaders, Al Sharpton to Vernon Jordan and Andy Young and all those guys. But Maynard as a man, a father, a visionary, you know, that came and, you know, laid down public transportation in the city. Of course, we know if anybody's ever come through the airport, you know, his work with the airport, you know, economic equality through airport vending, you know what I mean? He's the godfather of the term affirmative action. He strong vision for the arts in the city. You know, he started the Bureau of Cultural Affairs.
Wow, that
You
I
know.
didn't know.
Well, that's what documentaries are for.
Yeah.
You should be looking and say, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
So you're pretty innovative. I mean, you just talked about the cultural innovation. Do you see any cultural innovation now? You've been vegan, you said, for many, many years, right? And so do you see any cultural innovation happening right now on the scene with maybe the arts and veganism?
No.
No?
No, just kidding.
It's just the same old, same old. Are you inspired by what you're seeing now?
Not yes and no.
Okay, talk about it.
There are days where I don't listen to music. You know, and
Surprising.
well, I mostly listen to DNA healing sounds. You know, 528 hertz.
The theta.
Yeah, the solfeggio scale of stuff. Just because sounds outside, you know, car wrecks, people screaming, you know, get out the way, just different stuff. It's just terraforming sometimes. I don't know how I got so sensitive, but I did over time to where when I get home, all I want to hear is, you know, that kind of
I
thing.
understand that. Silence.
Yeah, science.
Silence.
So you really live a holistic life, is what you're saying. It's holistic. It's not just about what you're eating. It's about what you're doing when you go home.
Glad you said that. Yeah, because a holistic lifestyle, a lot of people think, you know, it's just the eating, and it's not. It's how you live. You know, I wake up, I do yoga, I have meditation sessions every day, since you've known me. It's not a day that I miss. You know,
and you can see it, right?
You
so
can
like,
see
look
it.
at this. I know he's got his shades on because he's Jason
feel it.
Cool right now, but you can feel the energy emanating, and you can see it in the glow.
Yes. So yes. I'm glad you said that. I mean, a holistic lifestyle is almost, you know, a high accomplishment to attain, and I think everybody who achieves it will definitely appreciate it and be grateful that they did it.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
iJourneyTV, 7 on the natural foods and anything vegan, and ChatNChew, of course. AHZJAH and I are extremely happy that you came through.
Thank you for having
And
me.
we wish you continued success.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of ChatNChew on iJourneyTV. Take care, be well.
Let freedom reign.
to master your mind, free to move through space or time, free to give, free to take, free to make another mistake. Are you free to dispute, free to believe, free to give up, free to achieve, free to live, free to die, free to ask the question why, free to touch, free to taste, free to take another man's place? Are you free to give up your right, free to run, stand up and fight, free to know, free to guess, free to say no or say yes, free to change your mind, free to laugh or free to cry? Freedom, born to be